So we are looking at momentum, and in the previous class we discussed that momentum, usually denoted by the symbol P, equals mass times velocity. The unit is kilograms for mass, velocity meters per second, and kg meters per second. Also, that if you take two different objects with mass m1 v1, mass m1 and velocity v1, and another object mass m2 with velocity v2, obviously these objects are moving, then their momenta can be calculated. P1 equals m1 v1, P2 equals m2 v2. But the curious difference why we came to momentum is because of collisions. We said that when objects collide into one another, what decides the force of impact? For after all, a larger body moving with a small velocity can produce a much larger force than small objects, that is objects with very tiny velocity, may be moving at very high velocities. They seem to do very little damage. So I was talking about some particulate and molecular matter, gases and so on in the air, often are moving at speeds in excess of 200, 300 meters per second, and they are colliding into our body all the time. But we hardly have any sort of a feeling. We hardly, it hardly registers on us that there are objects with very high velocity which are impacting our skin. So the point is that we still don't understand why, we still don't exactly understand why moving objects produces a force when they impact against us. Why are the impact forces large in some cases and the impact forces hardly discernible in some other cases? So for that we need to come to one more concept in between, an intermediate concept. So we will discuss that. So the question that can be asked is how to increase momentum. How do we increase momentum? Okay, remember P is equal to m times v. So if you want to increase the momentum of an object, what are the things that you can do?
Mass or increase velocity.
Okay.
Why would you want to reduce mass?
Yeah, wait, I'll explain that. So there are two possibilities, okay, to increase momentum, as people said. One is the most easiest, most straightforward solution, that is increase velocity. Okay, for after all, if you increase the velocity, this goes up. And if that goes up, then obviously this will also go up.
Yeah.
Okay, so but if you look at the equation, then that another thing is also obvious, increase the mass. And increasing mass is a little, it's a little unusual thing, because when an object is moving, how do you increase its mass? But think about a snowball rolling down a hillside, and you will get the idea of increasing mass. Okay, and in the case of a snowball rolling down a slope of a hill, both are increasing. The velocity is also increasing because gravity keeps accelerating it, and the mass of the snowball is also increasing because it keeps collecting snow on it. So these are the two ways in which you can increase the momentum of an object, of a moving object. Increase its velocity, increase its mass, or increase both. And then the reverse of it is true. If you want to decrease the momentum, you can decrease the velocity, you can decrease the mass, although that's a slightly different situation. When you decrease the mass, think about a rocket that is going out into outer space, and the fuel is continuously being burnt and released. So therefore the mass reduces. Okay, so if you want to decrease momentum, you can decrease the velocity, you can decrease the mass, or obviously you can decrease both. So now the next question. Yes.
So if you want to increase the momentum the most, then you increase the velocity and mass.
No, not necessary. You can increase velocity a lot, or you can
Or the
increase
mass a
mass
lot.
a lot, or you can increase the velocity a little and increase the mass a little, and you can affect the same amount of increase in momentum.
It all depends on the units. Yeah.
It depends on the quantities.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but then what exactly is moment? Like, what
We
exactly is
still
it?
don't know that. We still don't know that. I have given you momentum as a quantity. I have defined what exactly it is, but still we don't get exactly what is the connection between force and momentum. When the connection between force and momentum becomes clear, then you will get the point of why we are talking about momentum. So at the moment, it's still a mystery. Okay, so bear with me for a while longer. So let us say that for the time being, just leave out the increasing mass part. Okay, just leave it out for the time being and consider the increase in velocity alone. Okay, say velocity increases. Who's that?
Sorry, sir.
Ruhani.
That's Rohani.
Sorry, that was recording.
Okay. So we agree now that when velocity increases, momentum also increases. How can you increase the velocity of an object which is moving? What do you do when you have to increase the velocity of an object which is moving?
You push it.
Yeah.
You
Have
give
to
it a push.
accelerate it.
Sorry?
You increase the acceleration.
Yeah, exactly. So when you push it, so to sort of illustrate the situation, you have an object which is moving. If you want to make it go faster, give it a push.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you give it a push, then its velocity, which was, let's say, v1, can get increased to something like v2. Okay, which means that when you push an object with a certain amount of force, it produces an acceleration. The acceleration is what increases the velocity of the object. So now we have some kind of a way of looking at the connection between momentum and force. Okay, so just bear with it for a few moments. Similarly, if you want to decrease the velocity, so we are not just saying increase the velocity, we can also decrease the velocity in doing exactly the same way, except you have to push it in the opposite direction. So if you push it from this side, then the velocity will decrease and that will reduce the momentum. Okay.
So can you repeat that?
So I say that we can increase momentum by increasing velocity and increasing mass, or fiddling with these two things. Leave mass for the moment, concentrate on velocity, and ask the question, how does velocity increase or decrease? To increase or decrease the velocity, you have to push it. In other words, you have to apply a force. If you want to increase the velocity, you apply the force in the direction of the force, so that produces an acceleration. If you want to decrease the velocity, then you apply a force in opposite to the direction of motion, then you decelerate the object. Either way, applying a force changes the velocity, which changes the momentum. Do you see that connection now?
Yeah, decreases.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Okay, okay. So now one more small thing. If you apply a force on an object for a shorter period of time, how do I illustrate this?
You can show us also.
Sorry?
If you're having trouble illustrating something, you can show us. Like,
Yeah, I think illustrating will be better. Let's say there are two objects, our mysterious object.
Same mass, right?
Same mass, same amount of friction, etc., etc. And there is a force F1 and exactly the same force F1 being applied on these two objects. Okay. Now, in this case, the force F1 is being applied through a certain time. So from time, is it visible? No.
move the camera up thoda sa.
Yeah, we can see it.
I'll just illustrate that a little later. And in this case, the same force is being applied for a greater period of time. So I hope it's clear. There are two objects, two situations, same force F1 being applied. The time intervals are T0, T1 and T2. Okay, so in the first situation, let's say situation A, the force is applied from T0 to T1, and in the second situation, let's say situation B, the force is applied from T0 to T2. Okay, and just to make it clear, T2 is greater than T1. Okay, now the question is, in which one will be which situation A or B will have a greater change in velocity? That's the question. Which situation A or B will have a greater change in velocity? So yes, the situation B is the one in which the object is going to end up with a greater velocity. And the reason is pretty simple. If you apply the force for a shorter period of time, then it produces a certain acceleration on it for that period of time. Let's say that it's about 1 second. Okay, while at the same time, if you apply the force for 2 seconds, then the acceleration is going to happen for 2 seconds, which is going to produce a greater velocity in the second case. Okay, so force multiplied by time, okay, that gives us a new quantity that we have not seen before, which is something called as impulse. Okay, so two new quantities already, momentum
Force
and
into
impulse.
time.
Yeah, impulse is
What do you mean by quantity?
quantity means it's a new so like for example, momentum is a quantity because it's a product of mass and velocity, but it's new because we have not come across it so far. So that's what I mean by a new quantity. So impulse is another one quantity like that, which is equal to force multiplied by time,
What force?
the force that you are applying on the object.
Can we count momentum as a force?
How can you call momentum as a force?
You can't know.
No, force is equal to mass times acceleration.
Acceleration.
F is equal to ma, and
Um,
P is equal to m times v. So obviously they have to be two different things. There is a connection between momentum and force, but the connection is not exactly clear at the moment. Okay, so we are developing the idea step by step. We know momentum has got something to do with forces. We know how momentum increases, and we are taking velocity and saying if velocity increases or decreases, momentum increases or decreases. So what produces a change in velocity? A force produces a change in velocity. Okay, then you say, does a force acting on a body always produce the same amount of change in velocity? No, it does not. If you apply a force for a longer duration, it produces greater velocity change. Now some of you might have started seeing the connection to momentum and velocity and force already, but hold on for a little bit. If you apply a force for a shorter duration of time, shorter change in velocity. If you apply the same force for a longer duration of time, greater change in velocity. So I introduce another new term, impulse, which is force multiplied by the time for which the same force has been applied. Okay, so now I ask you, what is it fair to say that a force when applied on a body for some period of time, does it produce a change in momentum? So let me make the statement again. So we see the quantity impulse, and I say that impulse is equal to force multiplied by time. So if I apply a force for a certain period of time on an object, does it change the object's momentum? Yes, no, maybe. What do you have to say?
You say
So if you understand impulse clearly, then I can ask the question, what does impulse do to momentum? What does impulse do to momentum? I just erase this small bit over here. Will that be okay? No, I'll erase this bit over here.
Yeah, it changes it. It decreases or increases it.
Yeah. So do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
understand the statement if I write it like this? Impulse changes momentum.
And it can be increase or decrease.
Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Yeah.
Impulse changes momentum. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So great. So now we can say that we have an understanding of how force, time, velocity act with each other in the situation where momentum is involved. Okay. Now we have to, so we can understand logically that impulse and momentum are connected. That is Ft and mv are connected.
What is FT? Oh, impulse and
Impulse, momentum. Okay, but we have not yet clearly understood what is the connection between these two things. And to establish the connection between these two things, we will look at a completely different situation in the next class.